So tell me, how does the Math 1, 2, 3 screening process work?
Okay, well, after I had that one bad experience with hiring the college kid, I learned never to take it on faith that someone knows this material until they prove it to me. So I asked them material starting with mental math arithmetic, and then we'll go to algebra, geometry, trigonometry, pre-calculus, calculus, and I make sure they know all their formulas, all the relevant concepts, and I make sure that their teaching ability is top-notch also. And to make sure that they do that, I will say, well, talk to them like I'm an 8th grader. I'm taking algebra for the first time. How do you solve this quadratic equation? Or I'll say, talk to me like I'm a college student taking calculus for the first time, and then I'll have them go through a problem with me. And we'll do that many times. We'll get the basics out of the way. Then we turn it up a notch, and I'll ask them more challenging formulas, more obscure formulas, more difficult concepts. I'll throw in some of the nastier word problems, and I'll keep pushing them and make sure that they really know all the material, and I make sure that they're explaining everything in a crystal clear way. And I always make sure that they know more than one method to solve a problem. Some students may need to just have more detail, and some may need a different approach altogether.
That sounds like a ton of material. So do you have some kind of training manual to make sure that your tutors properly teach the subject?
Well, I've had a lot of prospective tutors ask me that over the years, but it would be literally impossible to have a training manual that would cover everything. There's just a ton of material. I used to work for an SAT prep company, and they gave me just a small booklet to learn from, very limited amount of material. They were framing the situation and made sure that the tutors only had to know a little bit. It was enough material to get through several sessions, and there was very little time at the end of the session for the student to ask his own questions. Now with Math 1, 2, 3, it's a very different situation. So imagine you took all of your textbooks from when you were a kid. You took your elementary level math, and then you get into high school, you're learning algebra, so you have an algebra book, and then you stack on top of that a geometry book and trigonometry and pre-calculus and calculus and probability and statistics, getting into the college level math, and then you start stacking on all the SAT prep books, GMAT, GRE, and you can see that it's becoming a stack that's about 5 or 6 feet tall. Now imagine you were to kick over that stack of books, and you pick a book at random, and then you close your eyes, you open the book, you point to a problem, you open your eyes and say, okay, how do I solve problem number 58? Now, my tutors know how to go about solving a problem right away in that situation, but very few tutors can really function at that level. So I let tutors make their mistakes for other companies, get their experience for several years, and then they're in a position that they can handle the Math 1, 2, 3 assessment.
Well, I can see that your screening process is rigorous, but do your prospective tutors really let you put them on the spot over and over and over?
Well, some do and some don't. Some of them hang up the phone in frustration. A lot of the prospective tutors, they'll just give up after just a few minutes, and some of them will muddle through, and then I have to cut things short because I realize that they're not ready, and I tell them to hit the books for a while and get a few years more of experience under their belt. I have to protect my reputation, 15-year reputation of Math 1, 2, 3. So I have to make sure that they can handle any of the pitfalls, the classic questions, anything that might come up in a tutoring session. So I've literally tutored hundreds and hundreds of students over the years, so I know what the tutor should be able to handle. Many prospective tutors have told me over the years that it's the most difficult interview process they've ever dealt with. About 1% to 2% of the time, I find a tutor who has mastered the material, can explain it in a crystal clear manner, and they have the personality to get through to the student, to motivate the student.